Good morning, everyone.
No, that's not clear.
Today, we, the Department of Economics of St. Mary's College, Thrissur, in collaboration with Gulati Institute of Finance and Taxation, Sri Achutamenon Study and Research Center, Aalborg University, Denmark, and Globelix is conducting a one-day international seminar on the topic Economic Development in Information and Artificial Intelligence Era, Experiences and Expectations. This is a golden opportunity for us to enrich and enlighten ourselves. Once again, I welcome all the dignitaries, staffs, faculty members, my dear friends, and everyone joining us online. Let's embark on a journey of insightful dialogue to provoking perspective and invaluable learning. Now, let us begin this session with the blessings from the Lord Almighty with a prayer song by Agnes from 3DC Economics.
परिमृदु कोमल धरणी तन्मीदे हरितवर्णोज्ज्वल ലതകളിലാകെ മണമോലും സൂരങ്ങൾ അഴകോടെ ചാർത്തും അഖില ലോകനാഥ കൈതൊഴാം ഞങ്ങളെ കൂപ്പുകൈ മുട്ടു അർച്ചന ചെയ്കെ മതികവരം മംഗളരൂപ.
Thank you, Agnes. Now, to welcome all the dignitaries and everyone present here, we have Dr. Danya Shankar, Head of the Department of Economics, with the welcome address. Ma'am, please.
The President of the function, Dr. Sister Namita, Principal of St. Mary's College, Chief Guest of the day, our keynote speaker, Dr. K.J. Joseph, Professor Dr. K.J. Joseph, Director of Gulati Institute of Finance and Taxation, Secretary General of Globelix, and the renowned economist of Kerala, and Dr. Sudhagaran, Director of Costford, Dr. Chako Jose, Principal of Aloysius College, Dr. Primoz Konda, our keynote speaker of the session 2 from Denmark, and all the distinguished speakers, participants, online participants throughout the world present over here, and all the participants from nearby colleges, faculty members, and dear students. Warm welcome to each and every one of you to the esteemed international seminar hosted by the Department of Economics of St. Mary's College on the topic Economic Development in Information and Artificial Intelligence Era, Experiences and Expectations. As the head of the Department of Economics, I am very much happy and it fills me very immense pleasure and pride to stand before you and to welcome and greet you all to this international seminar, our most awaited international seminar on a very much debated topic. I am delighted to extend a heartfelt welcome to all our esteemed guests on the online and also present over here to grace this occasion. And with immense pleasure, we are very much privileged to have Professor Dr. K.J. Joseph, the economist, our pride of Kerala, who are having connection throughout the world, who is the Director General of GIFT, Gulati Institute of Finance and Taxation, and the Secretary General of International Economics Union, Globelix, and his very much renowned personality invaluable in our discourse also. And this international seminar is practically, which has happened today only because of Dr. K.J. Joseph, because we had immense conversation to telephone in person, and because of his constant motivation and all the inputs that he have given to us, because all the resource person and every arrangement from starting to the end and everything has been because of only Dr. K.J. Joseph. We know that he's such a busy person and he's the man behind our Kerala budget, and he's a very renowned person in all the fields, and he's very much related to the economic scenario. And so I know he's in travel now also, but because of her love to St. Mary's College, he very gracefully agreed to be here for our session. So actually, we are all very much indebted to him. We doesn't need any exaggeration to describe Dr. KJ Joseph because he's a man of words. So with lots of respect and love and gratitude, we welcome you, Dr. KJ Joseph, to our session. And we have our dear principal, Dr. Sister Diana, who's a visionary leader. Because of her, this program became a success. Because why? Because of her, we are getting so much of thing. She's inspiring us on every moment, and she makes us to do many more things as per our ability. We welcome you, dear sister, to this program. Dr. Sudhakaran, Director of Costford, Sri Achyuta Menon Study Center. We are associating, Department of Economics is associating with Costford for making this international seminar. So he is the instrumental behind making this seminar to be present here. So I welcome Dr. Sudhakaran, who is the person who is giving strong motivation to us for making all these events. We welcome you, Dr. Sudhakaran, to this session. We are having Dr. Dali Dobinik, our IQAC coordinator, assistant professor in Department of Zoology and a well-known author too. And we are so much delighted to have Dr. Dali here for our felicitation. And she is also our strong motivator for all the programs of Department of Economics. And we welcome you, Ms. Dali, for this session. I also welcome Dr. Chako Jose, Principal of St. Aloysius College, who is handling our afternoon session, and Dr. Primoz Konda, who is the keynote speaker from Aalborg University, Denmark. He will also be joining for the afternoon session, our session 2. And I welcome them and their absence. And I also welcome all our distinguished speakers, participants through online, Dr. K. Babu from Bharatiya University, Dr. Praveet from Kanu University, Professor Baidin Ahmed from Central University, Telangana, Dr. Manigandan, Dr. P. Balakrishnan, Professor Nagendran, Professor Bhupati Raj from Madurai Kamraj University, Puneet Kumar sir from IIT Meerut, faculty, students from Dublin Business School, Ireland, and all the university students from Calicut University, Kerala University, and Kaladi Sanskrit University. I welcome all again, and I extend a very warm welcome to all our faculty members from St. Mary's College and nearby colleges, and students from all our nearby colleges, and students of St. Mary's College, Department of Economics, who is instrumental for making this seminar happen, who is behind all the things of this seminar. I welcome you all, and I'm exhorting you to make utilize of each and every session and be the part of this momentous occasion. I welcome you once again. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your warm welcome. Also, I take this moment to welcome the head of our department, Dania ma'am, to this occasion. Now we have our dear principal sister, Dr. Sister Beena TL, who is a pillar of support. Sister, I invite you for the presidential address.
All distinguished guests on the dais, faculty members, online participants, and my dear students. I am honored to stand before you today at this prestigious international seminar, Economic Development in Information and AI Era, Experience and Expectations, hosted by the Department of Economics of St. Mary's College, Thrissur. As we embark on this journey of knowledge exchange and collaboration, I extend my warmest greetings to each and every one of you. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Professor Dr. KJ Joseph, Director of Gulati Institute of Finance and Taxation, who is in our esteemed presence. Your expertise and insight are valuable to our discussions today. I also extend a heartfelt appreciation to Dr. Sudhakaran, Director of Course 4, for this gracious presence. Your support and encouragement are instrumental in making this seminar a success. Furthermore, I would like to acknowledge the dedication and hard work of Dr. Dhanya Shankar, Seminar Coordinator and Head of the Economics Department, and the faculty members and energetic students. Your effort in organizing this event have been commendable, and we are truly grateful to your commitment to advancing academic discourse. As we gather here to explore the multifaceted dimensions of economics, let us remember this importance of collaboration and mutual learning. In today's interconnected world, the challenges we face are complex and dynamic. It is only through dialogue, cooperation, and exchange of ideas that we can hope to address these challenges effectively. I encourage each of you to actively participate in these discussions, share your views, and engage with one another with an open mind and a spirit of curiosity. Together, let us strive to deepen our understanding of economics phenomena, explore innovative solutions to pressing issues, and pave the way for a more prosperous and sustainable future. Once again, I extend my warmest welcome to all distinguished guests, Dr. Primos Konda, Dr. Chako Jose, and speakers, and the participants, and all. May this seminar be a fruitful and enriching experience to us all. Thank you.
Thank you, dear sister. Now it's time for the main speaker. We have with us Professor Dr. K.J. Joseph, sir, who is currently the director of Gulati Institute of Finance and Taxation. Sir has his area of interest include science and technology and innovation for development with a focus on information technology. He has also published 80 research papers, a number of policy-oriented reports, and 6 books by leading international publishers. Sir, with all honor, I invite you for the inaugural address.
Thank to all of you. Dr. Sister Beena TL, the principal of the renowned St. Mary's College, Thrissur, who is presiding over this function. My dearest friend, Dr. Sudhakaran, the director of Course 4, I understand that he has been helpful in organizing this meeting. Dr. Dali Dominic, Assistant Professor and IQAC Coordinator of St. Mary's College, Thrissur, who I understand has to ensure that such things happens in the university, because today you are living in a world of rating, and it is all the responsibility of the IQAC director to ensure, to see that your rating goes up. And indeed, Dr. Dhanya Shankar, head of the Department of Economics, and of course, other colleagues in the economics department. If I consider Dr. Dhanya as a representative sample of the faculty from St. Mary's College, I am very, very hopeful about the future of economics teaching and the learning environment in this state. A couple of weeks ago, she gave me a call and discussed many things. And I was thoroughly impressed by the commitment to profession that she has shown. And in fact, long time back, Professor Gustav Ranis told me while on a discourse site, when he met me in economic docent at midnight, he told me, "Oh, you are still working?" I told, "Sir, my performance is good by way of input measure. not always by output measure. At that time, he told me, don't worry, in the long run, input measure will get transformed to output measure. So the kind of commitment that your head of the department has shown is indeed enthused me to kind of take time out of my otherwise busy schedule to share my thoughts with you and be with you. And in fact, for me, Thrissur is a very favorite place. In fact, I owe to Thrissur to a great deal. My mentors, Professor P.P. Pillai, Professor the Devi teacher, Professor Damayanti, Professor, of course, Professor Mohandas, and others who groomed me while I was in Thrissur, and along with my wonderful friends in Thrissur, like Professor Sudhakaran, Professor Baby Auntie, Professor Tachil, and Thomas, and many others. In fact, I had an opportunity long time back to work in one of the colleges in Thrissur. I declined that. And 2 colleges I had opportunity to work in. Recently, I was telling my wife that, look, I am such a fool that getting an opportunity to work in a women's college, I forgo at that time. I was not as intelligent as now. I would have actually I should have grabbed that opportunity. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that Thrissur is very close to my heart, and I have great appreciation for Thrissur people for more than one reason. And I'm sure the whole purpose of these kind of these kind of seminars are not so much raising the rating of the university of the college, but more than that, to create a vibrant learning environment in your college. And I was very keen of being with you today. And in fact, after talking to Dr. Dhanya, I started every day spending some little bit of time for preparing my PowerPoint, and that turned out to be now 57 in number. And I'm not going to present that. And my idea was that I will come and have, rather than delivering formal, official, inaugural addresses of the conventional type, wherein nothing is told but everything is told. That is what an inaugural address ideally should be. I am not going get into that formality. My job rather should be, I am an economist. That, as Adam Smith said, all are rational. Human beings are rational. I am also rational. And at the end of the day, I will be asking, and similarly, each one of your teachers should be asking to, in my view, after a session, they should ask themselves what they have gained, not so much the students gained. You must also ask ourselves how much I was challenged, how much I learned by taking a session. And if it is the answer to that question is that because of my last session, all the students gained, I have not learned anything more, then I would declare that session as a failure. So in this context also, I know that there is in fact, I used to tell, I told one of the, I don't want to use the name, one of the senior persons in our higher education system that after addressing some 221 college teachers online, none of them switched down their on their video. I told that online teaching is nothing but online cheating. So I regret that I am doing that today, but I know my appreciation and consideration and valuation of Thrissur people are very high, and I can see all of you over there. I'm very keen. I'm sure this, and I have some time constraint. So in another half an hour, I don't know how much I will reach. Let us try to I will try to speak maybe for 30-40 minutes, and after that, you will be up and we will be taking an evaluation of the session. There are 2 conditions. The more the questions that I get, the more the session successful. And of course, if sleeping rate is maybe, if it is, I know that you have all reason to sleep when somebody speaks online, but I don't allow anyone to speak when I am physically present. I never allow anyone to do that. But this can happen. Some of you might even sleep. And if your snoring overpowers my speaking, then we will declare the session as successful. Okay, let me get into my I have a set of slides which I may kind of share with you and use that as a guide for the interaction. Please let us share this. Yeah. I think I must about the future that we are going to live and what is the kind of current challenges, and that particular awareness. You can leave now. You know, that particular awareness is in fact the starting point of any dynamic institution. So once again, I appreciate you for choosing the topic, which is in fact ahead of time. I think what I thought at that time was that as we proceed, I'll be covering these many issues. I won't be able to, because in fact, on each one of my slides, I can spend maybe an hour. So I wanted to kind of set the context of Fourth Industrial Revolution, and what I will be spending more time is by way of articulating an analytical framework which will enable us to raise questions which are of relevance, not only to at the global level, at the national level, at the subnational level, at the sectoral level, and also what does it mean to you and me, particularly as an entity engaged in the production of knowledge. A university or a college, as far as I am concerned, is an entity. It is also a firm. A firm is a producing unit. Similarly, St. Mary's College is a producing unit. It's a unit that produces knowledge. So I'll be starting with the first 2 points. I won't be getting into any empirics, anything about India, China, anything about all those things. But let's see where we end. My idea will be to kind of set some questions for to provoke you people. That's all. Now, when we talk about Fourth Industrial Revolution, what one needs to know is that if economic and social progress of human beings that today that we enjoy quintessentially is due to technological innovations. You may think that yesterday we have a white paper from one of the ruling party and a black paper from the opposition, and we all think that it is the political parties that to drive the nation. Maybe you are right. At the same time, at the heart of any human progress is nothing but innovation. What is innovation? Innovation is doing something, coming up something altogether new to the world. That's innovation. And doing something which has already been done in an altogether new way is also innovation. In that sense of the term, we can think in terms of product innovations, which I would like to call a new product, which was never seen by the world. For example, when you talk about a mobile phone, your grandfather or your father or your mother in their childhood are never ever imagine a situation wherein you could talk to a child while you are working in your farm. I mean, that is a new product. A mobile phone, though, for that matter, is a new product. Similarly, you can have new process. How do you do something very differently? That is called a process innovation. I know it in fact takes me back to the chapter 1 of the magnum opus, what is called an inquiry into the nature and cause of wealth of nations. On chapter 1, Adam Smith said about division of labor. He has visited I think I should not go like this detail. He has visited a pin factory. Now we have visited hundreds of factories. What he has seen is that a pin is produced in an altogether different way. If a person makes a pin by himself, by heating the iron and stretching it, you cutting it, you sharpening it. So he found that there is something called 48 process involved in the process of making making a pin, and the whole process of new way of doing things, the division of labor, and that is he found the productivity has enhanced many fold when the work was divided among different people. That is, in fact, to my mind, the first articulation of a process innovation. And he also said, the possibility of such a division of labor is limited in the case of agriculture. So you don't find such remarkable increase in agriculture as compared to industry. If you go to, say, for example, any automobile in factory, you will find automobile production is divided into a conveyor belt passing through from the paint shop and body shop to the conveyor belt. You will find so many people are involved in that. Each one may be doing one job. You know, every when the equipment passes, they do one job. So what I'm trying to say that you can also have process innovation, and process innovation essentially means doing something differently. Then when you talk about innovations and socio-economic transformation, at the core of that is the general purpose technologies. For example, suppose a goldsmith in Thrissur tomorrow comes with a gimmicky, which takes the shape of something else. That's an innovation. And its impact will be that's an innovation, but its impact will be very limited, unlike the general purpose technologies that impacts the whole life and wide stretch of human beings. For example, in that case, we have the first industrial revolution, wherein it was driven by steam engine. Second industrial revolution, we have the electricity and railroads. And the manner in which electricity or steam engine or railroad, these are general purpose technologies, because its impact is not confined to a very narrow sphere, but on the other hand, it cuts across different sectors of the economy. Agriculture get changed, industry get changed, and different sections of the society get changed. So you have a general purpose technology associated with each industrial revolution. The third industrial revolution is what is called the microelectronics, or I would say electronics to microelectronics to information communication technology. If you ask your parents, go home and ask them about if they had one radio in their home when they were in the school. They will tell you that radio was almost kind of as big as an almara, and it had a lot of tubes in that, picture tubes in that. And then from the picture tube, there came these transistors. From transistors, hundreds and thousands, and today millions of transistors are etched onto a microchip, and that is called integrated circuit. And that integrated circuit is at the heart of information, electronics and microelectronics, and that gave way to information communication technology. That is nothing but the new technology came out of the marriage of computers and communication. Computer by 90s, it was a very smart technology, and communication again, and the more combination of both led to information communication technology. And today we are witnessing a next stage in the ICT. If you think that steam engine, essentially what did they do? They replaced the human muscle power with engines. Your traditional Homo sapiens in the forest, if they had to make a house, they had to cut a log, and using their muscle power, they had to move the thing and to do. And with machines came muscle power. The muscle power was initially replaced with the machine power. And today what we see is the muscle power has been moved by machines earlier. Today we are trying to replace the human being's brain power with the computer, with the machines. And that is in fact at the core of Industry 4.0. And when you are talking about I must be watchful of the time. Okay. At the core of this innovation is Industrial 4.0 is in fact ICT. This was facilitated by microelectronics revolution. What essentially that process has been described by Intel's chief, that is called Moore's Law in 1965. He said that in the foreseeable future, you will find the number of transistors etched to a semiconductor device or a silicon chip will be increasing in the geometric progression, while the cost of that will be declining in the opposite direction. So we have with microelectronics, Intel 4004 microprocessor 1971. That's a 4-bit chip running with 108 kilohertz. That had something like 2,300 transistors. IBM's latest nano sheet technology fits up to 5 billion transistors on a surface of the chip, surface in the size of your fingerprint. This is the manner in which the technology has progressed. The first IBM PC of 1981, Intel's first Pentium that was using Intel's Pentium process, it had something like 30,000 transistors. And today, any ordinary iPhone was many more, having much more computing power than the crazy supercomputers of 1980s. We are actually, each one of us are actually holding supercomputers, which people could not imagine in the 1980s. See, we know that when with this computer, with the communication, the marriage of these two gave birth to internet in 1993. The National Center for Supercomputing Agency at the University of Illinois, it happened in the university. And I don't want to go along to elaborate. Today, what we have is information communication technology, which has emerged as a general purpose technology of the new millennium. And it has revolutionized the process of information exchange. And it is reducing the what exactly, as a student of economics, what it has done? It has reduced the transaction cost to the minimum. When you're taking a product, what is the price of it? It will give you, okay, this mobile is costing 10,000 rupees or 10,000, whatever it is. And what is the price? That's the market price. But the transaction cost of that, you have to take your time off from your work. You have to take a taxi or to take a bus, go to the city and waste your time over there. On the other hand, today you are able to get and you may have to choose from, suppose you want to choose from 15 different shops, 5, your 2 days is gone. On the other hand, with internet, you can get into the supermarket of Amazon in a matter of few minutes. You can check all the mobiles of the type that you can think of, and you can make an order, and the product will come to your home, and you don't have to you don't have to move. In the trade, anyway, I don't want to get into trade theory implications. This point I'm trying to say that when you order anything through, say, for example, Swiggy for that matter, the transaction cost is reduced to minimum, which in essence increases your efficiency, your productivity, and indeed international competitiveness. To be my dear friends, when you're talking about information and communication technology, the human beings are yet to fully comprehend. I repeat, we are yet to fully comprehend what it could really contribute. What is the potential contribution of technology innovation is yet to be comprehended, and not even a small fraction of what has been comprehended has been made use of. And in that sense of the term, information communication is the greatest contribution of the previous century to the present century and beyond. And what is most unique about ICT is that in a developing country like India, which has been known for capabilities in IT. If you look at the earlier technologies, if you take steam engine, electricity, or railroad, any previous vintage of technology and innovation, this was essentially the prerogative of the developed world. And it is first in the history of human being that in the 1990s and particularly in 2000, we find a developing country like India emerging as an IT superpower from the South. In fact, when I was an IT policy consultant to UNESCAP and went to Yunnan in 2002. Then they found that an IT consultant, a company is in China. Many of the IT companies came to me and asked me, "Can you please introduce me to one IT company in India?" So many were behind me to kind of. So what I'm trying to, that's actually a major achievement that India was able to kind of make in the as we move to the new millennium. And in fact, now it's a question how it was brought about. That will take me to altogether. Today it is all said that it's all the creation of last 10 years. Otherwise, we were a desert. It's all happened during 10 years. There is a history for that. There is a commitment of an enlightened leadership of 1950s. For the first time in this country, in 1958, a science policy resolution was passed. And it is only in India. And India is the first country that recognizes the role of science, technology, and innovation in alleviating and addressing the basic development problems of poverty. And in fact, Jawaharlal Nehru, as early as in 1948, declared that unless and until we harness science and technology to transform our population to human capital, and with the power of technology, we may not be able to become developed. Anyway, I'm not getting into the details. The point I'm trying to say is that we are having, in fact, certain. I felt many occasions in which being an Indian. When you travel abroad, people will come and ask, "Oh, you are an Indian?" Okay. Earlier, when you travel abroad, people will say that, "Oh, poor guy is actually looking for maybe some food to eat, to get something here." Okay. When we are carrying a laptop and all, they think that, "Oh, he's a brainy guy. He's an IT man." The whole image of Indians, and the India as a land of sadhus and chant and those kinds of things got changed thanks to the IT, India's IT prowess. But then there are flip side of that. I won't be able to, manner in which we have made use of that capability. There are questions about that. I'm not going to get into that. IT revolution coincided with the initiation of the ongoing globalization process. What we have seen that when developing countries got political independence after the Second World War, I think there were they could think of different paradigms in what is the kind of path that you should be taking. You could have either followed the Western market-led growth path. On the other hand, you could go for what is called the Russian way, or not Russian way, the way of USSR. Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, which was at that time recording enormous economic and social progress through state-oriented planning. Then we actually took the elements of both in that sense, the term a mixed economy, and we have went for an import substituting public sector-led growth with importance to small-scale industries, considering the fact that ours is a diversified economy, wherein more diverse than most continents, we need to ensure balanced regional development. And then we have formed finance commissions and kind of thing, which is the issue which I am confronted with now, as I'm bothered about now as heading a public finance institution. Anyway, the point which I wanted to say that, while we started with import substitution, public sector letter growth with the role for public sector and small scale industry, by 80s and later 90s, we moved away from import substitution to open, globalized and market-oriented policy reforms, both with its profound development impact. The art of brewing high growth. Okay, when you look about when we review what has actually happened to India and many of the other developing countries in the world under globalization, of course, globalization has given rich dividend. We we know that, from the so-called Raj Krishna's Hindu growth rate, we have been able to record much higher growth rate after the globalization. I would like to say that we have earned the art of brewing high growth rate. From 3.5%, the growth rate may be of the order of something like between 5.5 to 6% the post-liberalization period. And I must tell you, my dear friends, when we are today aspiring for becoming a developed economy by 2047, our growth rate should be of the order of something like 8 point plus. And during the post-liberalization period, during 2003 to 2004, 2003 to 2014, India recorded a growth rate of something like 7.6%. And that growth rate, if we are able to produce now for the next 25 years, we will be able to become at least an upper middle income country. And this is not an impossibility, because we have before us Chinese experience wherein from 1978 to 40 years, they have been able to record a growth rate of 9.6% for 40 years, never ever heard in the human history. And today we are aspiring with post 2014, our growth rate was of the order of 5.8%. And now with that, we are aspiring and we are talking that we are the fifth largest economy in the world. And by 2030, we will be becoming the third largest economy. What does it mean for economic students? Third largest economy. St. Mary's College is the largest college in Kerala. What does it mean? What? If the students who are coming out of your college can't read and write your name, if you are not able to get a job, then what is the meaning of having the largest number of people? And what is the per capita income? When we are becoming the fifth largest economy, the sixth largest economy will be United Kingdom, and their per capita income is 20 times more than ours. And what's the meaning of talking about the largest economy? So what we are talking, I'm trying to say that while we have been able to brew high growth rate under globalization, this high growth rate has been growing divides between and within. When I remember in 2004, when I was preparing the India-Brazil-South Africa Economic Cooperation, IPSA, I titled that as Trinity of the South. Our inequality index was the lowest, and that of Brazil highest. And today, in fact, in terms of inequality, of course, we don't have any credible data. Our inequality is actually higher than Brazil. And in fact, Deepak Nair, I think Deepak Nair made a statement, but there has been growing divide and exclusion between and within countries. The divide between the haves and have-nots, between sectors and between section society has widened. And in fact, we have been upholding what is called a socialistic pattern of society in our directive principles, which has been buried, which is not a subject that is being talked about. I'm not against promoting the public-private sector. But then you should be able to have a situation wherein private sector is allowed to grow under the control of the state in a regulated manner by keeping the people and the welfare of the people up front. And this is, in fact, something which we have been and again, Deepak Nair's 2001 book, he said that liberalization and globalization is neither good nor bad. Globalization is neither good nor bad. For those who have embraced the globalization at their terms and their pace, globalization has given rich dividend. But for others, if you are embracing globalization at somebody else's terms, not by keeping your people in mind, it can lead to unmitigated disaster. Globalization essentially means you are integrating with the world market. But you should know how to integrate with the world market by keeping your integrity. If you are integrating without integrity, it could be leading to unmitigated disaster of the type that Professor Deepak Nair has clearly articulated. And for most humanity, Amartya Sen says, the only commodity that a person has to sell is her labor power. Hence, the person's entitlement depends principally on her or his capability to find a job, the wage rate at which that job is obtained, and the prices of which you buy your commodities and goods with the income that you earn. So what actually is going to happen in our country? This is something that you need to allow. And again, Christopher Freeman, he says about structural adjustment. It is an article I got it from an article which he published in a journal that I started with, Innovation and Development. The opening article, he says, structural adjustment-induced growth has been characterized by crisis of structural adjustment, as there has also been growing unemployment, a main source of inequality and poverty. My dear friends, what I'm trying to say that when we are talking about Industry 4, when you are talking about Industry 4 after 40 years of neoliberal reforms, which has contributed to unacceptable levels of inequalities and growing divides, what these new technologies are going to come on the top of this unacceptable world is that we need to reflect upon. Stiglitz again says, he has been more emphatic when he observed that the dearth of jobs and asymmetries in globalization have created competition for jobs in which workers lost and owners of capital gained. My dear friends, you know that under globalization, the countries across the world have slashed the import tariff, and all the governments across the world, developing world, lost almost 2% of their income. And this loss of income indeed was the gain of the business class. And India today, we are one of the having lowest corporate tax rate. And with the particularly among the BRICS countries, and with the lowest tax rate. Now the key question is, are you able to create a situation of redistribution wherein first of all, the people who are lagging behind are handheld. And today we are having the dubious distinction, even after 75 years of having largest number of unemployed, the largest number of poor, and many of our indicators are even not comparable, are not even comparable to to even Africa. You take, for example, your Human Development Index. You will take your Sustainability Oriented Index. You are below Bangladesh. And you are talking about you are the third largest economy in the world. So, along with these divides, a new divide is coming, my dear friends. That is called digital divide. The so-called general purpose technology of the new millennium, how much it is accessible to our own people. Yesterday, actually, I was in a very remote area, and I found that these people, they don't have any access in Kerala. So the point I'm trying to say that while the world has become more unequal than ever before, yet another technological revolution, the Industry 4.0 is coming on. The global economy is at the cusp of fourth industrial revolution as a result of a constellation of innovations. Fourth industrial revolution is a constellation of innovation built upon the edifice of information communication technology. These get manifested in artificial intelligence. This is what Primos is going to talk in the afternoon. Internet of Things, big data, cloud computing, blockchain, robotics, 3D printing, nanotechnology, and others. A constellation of all these technologies are going to change the world in totally unimaginable way that we could imagine. And this is the context in which I appreciate that your teachers have taken this kind of a topic for discussion. Now, regarding the fourth industrial revolution, Klaus Schwab, who has coined this term, he says that we stand on the brink of a technological revolution that will fundamentally alter the way we live. It will fundamentally alter the way we work. And fundamentally, it will change the way we relate one another. I know, it would be nice if I speak in Malayalam. It would be much more convincing for my girls and boys around. But unfortunately, I understand that some people are from outside the state. These are all talks on which what actually happens at home with your mobile in your hand, how you relate to each other. This gets changed. In its scale, scope, and complexity, the transformation will be unlike anything human beings has experienced ever before. We do not know yet just how it will unfold, but one thing is clear: the response to it must be integrated and comprehensive, involving all stakeholders of global polity, from public and private sectors to academia and civil society. And the point is that if we as so-called intellectual elite, we are the privileged lot in a society of ours who are having access to higher education system. Fortunately in Kerala, we have something like 42% of our corresponding age group are in higher education. That's something very nice of us. And it is our job to comprehend what is it going to be, what is its implications to each one of us, to everyone around, to all the sectors of the economy, all sections of society. And it is our job to comprehend and think about it. And I appreciate again the opportunity to do that. We are yet to fully comprehend the outcomes individually and collectively, and only a very small fraction of what is comprehended is harnessed by the select developed countries. Even developed countries are not fully, you talk about, driverless car and all kinds of things. There's a lot. The share of tasks that are performed by robots will rise from global average of around 10% across all manufacturing industries today to around 25% by 2025. It's a prediction made in, I don't have current data, but if that is going to double 2.5 times, what is going to happen? Global employment situation. Savings in labor cost will be substantial. Labor cost will come down as a result of high robotic use. The average manufacturing labor cost in 2025, when adjusted for inflation and other cost and productivity enhancing measures, are expected to be 33% lower in South Korea, 18% to 25% lower, for example, in China, and Germany, US, and Japan than they are otherwise. So when you are going to have 25% cost reduction, who is going to get benefited by this cost reduction? Whether it is going to create global monopolies of the type that the world has never seen, the Googles, the Facebooks, the manner in which these kind of intellectual monopolies in the IT world could influence your life and my life in a manner that none of the monopolies could ever do in the human history. Facilitated by the new industrial revolution, what is called any of these, it can be robotics, it can be AI, it can be blockchain, so on and so forth. And this is what we need to really comprehend about. Accelerating technological unemployment will likely to be one of the most challenging societal issues in this 21st century. Never before in history are so many industries being simultaneously upended by new technologies. Through creative destruction, in which lost jobs are replaced with the new ones, will be fact. Our newest technologies have clear potential to eliminate many more jobs than that we create. With the technology advancing at geometric pace, robotics, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, and other innovations with enormous disruptive potential will soon hit the mainstream. Billions of people worldwide are currently employed in industries that will likely to be affected, and billions of new entrants to the workforce will need to find new jobs. These are important. This is a statement which I took from the Global Summit on Employment. So the point I'm trying that there is very important to kind of articulate its importance, because we should not be in a situation wherein we are hit at the dark. We should be aware of that. There is the need for I'll come to that question later. The new revolution has huge potential for disrupting, my dear professor. Huge potential for disrupting labor market and reducing labor cost is an authority on IT for development. They continue. The digitalization is going to bring with it some thorny challenges, rapid and accelerating digitalization, so on and so forth. I don't want to elaborate so on and so forth. I think I should be now. The point is that what I wanted to kind of say is that in this context there are a number of issues comes up, number of issues, and we can deliberate for maybe for a week about it. What I'm going to do now, my dear, I think I need at least 30 minutes more. Okay. The point now, we as articulate academia, we need to, if you want to really comprehend the whole process, we need to have a framework to see it. Of course, framework and what is framework? Framework is what is the framework? Framework is nothing but the mirror, the glass that you use to see a problem. Everyone is wearing a glass. Somebody may be wearing a red glass. Everything will be looking red. Somebody may be using a green glass. Everything may look green. So I have certain kind of a glass which is based on, because it is my own understanding of the challenges. So it is also a framework that we often articulate in the Global X network. And how do we understand that? So I would like to say, when you're talking about digital economy or IT4, Industry 4 and development, I would articulate the things in 3 different contexts. One is direct effect. It contributes to output growth, employment growth, and export earning, and so on and so forth. Second is indirect effect. On account of the use of this technology, and on account of the diffusion of this technology into different sectors of the economy and society, there may be positive outcome, there may be negative outcome. When you use it, some people gain, some people will lose. The problem is not with the technology. The problem is with the way you use it. And when you have 33% labor cost, naturally there will be 33% profit increase. Now the question is not with the technology. The question is, what is the kind of system that you have in terms of redistribution? Here there may be gainers and losers in any use of any technology, and you need to have systems to compensate the losers by the gainers. Then we have the indirect effect on account of the resource movement effect or the opportunity cost of it. So I will put it in a kind of, in my thought process, I would like to say what is called, I'll put it as a digital economy development triangle. I call it like this. So we need to have, first of all, if you want to make use of this technology, if you want to protect yourself from the ill effects of this technology, at the core of it is nothing but capability. Capability, first of all, as I said, to visualize, to articulate what is going to happen in your life, your neighbor's life, your sector, your economy, your society. That's capability is at the core. That capability can be seen at 3 different levels. First of all, capability to produce. You can produce hardware. All these computers, these are all hardwares. That capability that creates opportunities. You need the instructions that run this machine. That's called software. That is a capability. And third is the content. Suppose you want to use, when you open Wikipedia, if you open your internet, there's a content is being generated. The tons of content that you get in your social media, that's a capability. And that's the content. This is basically, I call it as the capability to produce. And second, I would like to call it is capability to use. There is so much is there. You should know how to use it. You should know to adapt it and use it to your condition. That is capability to use. And finally, in a digital world, what is equally important is capability to connect. That we have a CarePhone project of the Kerala government. First of its kind in the modern world is trying to ensure that people below poverty lines are provided with ICT access. So you need to be able to connect people. In fact, as early as in 2002, Thabo Mbeki, South African president, made a statement in the UN saying that you are talking about all these very high fundamental stuff, but you should not forget the fact that half of the human beings have never ever made a telephone call. So that situation might have changed now, but even now, the digital divide, the lack of connectivity, the lack of access is in fact a reality. For example, when I travel in China, I find the 80-year-old farmers very seamlessly use their mobile and using the material from there, it's available in the local content. But if you go to Kerala village, if you ask a farmer, how much IT content is there for you in your mobile? First of all, whether you have a smartphone, that's another thing. And how much it is available for your purpose. Of course, it is being generated, thankfully. So these are the three pillars, this is the way I would like to see the digital economy development triangle. But these are trees. These are trees and these are the plants. And these plants can grow and these plants can flourish only in a wonderful, fertile field. And that field is what is called the innovation system that is created by the economy and society. So it is the innovation system, that is the overall setting that is provided by the economy and society, and that should be one that creates opportunities for capabilities, opportunities for use, capability for production, capability for use, and capability to connect. Now, I'm actually getting more details into what does it mean by IT capability production. I think I have a book on from Macmillan for 6 different country experience, India and other fact. I don't want to get into those details. And there is an article by what is called Development of IT and IT for Development. Realities of the myths is a long time back written for UN University wider. I'm not getting into those details. I will just come to that. I hope you understood the fact that we have to have capabilities for IT production, have capability for IT use, and we need to have capability for IT production, use, and connect. 3 CCU, not ICU. Okay, now let me come back to the last point. This is towards an analytical framework, the relevance of an innovation system. I'll try to finish in 2 minutes, 5 minutes time already. Okay. What is an innovation system? Innovation system is actually a framework which is developed at the instance of global scholars. Richard Nelson, I'm sure you would have heard about him, and you would have heard about Christopher Freeman. And of course, there is the person who really drove the whole scene is Professor Bendake Lundual from his department, Primus Konda, is speaking you in the afternoon. And the whole insight, in a sense, for innovation system came from none other than Friedrich List of Germany, who wrote a book called The Natural System of Political Economy in 1841. It was, in fact, almost 7071 is Adam Smith, and 1841 is Friedrich List. And what is the difference between Adam Smith and Friedrich List? I'm sure you MA students, if we were there, we could have actually face-to-face interact a little bit more. I'll tell you why. Who was Friedrich List, and under what context he wrote his magnum opus. Friedrich List was a German economist. What was his concern? His concern was how to facilitate the catch-up of a less developed country. At that time, Germany was a less developed country, and UK, England, was the developed country. And all the advice that countries that need were already given by Adam Smith. Adam Smith, he talked about division of labor, he talked about free trade, he talked about, everything under the sun. So for him, the state, a minimal role for the state, and all those things. And you should be having a free trade. This is what was given to all this was basically the golden rules. But Friedrich List's question was how to facilitate my country's development. This is actually we are concerned about. Our concern of today was his concern of at that time. So he came with the argument that you cannot have a free trade environment, because if you are trying to compete with a highly competent country, you will be finished. First, you have to build your capabilities of your people, then only you should compete. And that is precisely what his argument of infant industry protection, that is an idea, came from Frederick List in his book, National System of Political Economy, which is perhaps the most strongest critic of Adam Smith. And all the developing countries which got political development adopted the policy of import substitution and tariff barriers. And this insight draws from Frederick List. But what we have taken is that in our system, he also said that while you are protecting, you should not keep on protecting them and considering them as infant for ages. This is what India happens. In India, it is what actually happens. He said that along with that, you need to build learning and innovation and competence building systems to see that their capabilities are built up. And in fact, wherein he brought in a wonderful idea of a learning process. In fact, he had a wonderful statement. Every generation is rich only to the extent to which you can draw from your previous generation and harness it and build upon it. Each one are like that. In fact, when you are talking about a PhD, I know there are no PhD scholars here. I don't think so. So what I'm trying to say that using his framework, Chris Freeman, Lundwall, and then Richard Nelson, they developed the idea of innovation system. So what is innovation system? Innovation system is the network of actors and their interactions that leads to the generation and use of innovation. Invention, innovation, diffusion, and all. I don't want to get into those details. Professor Sudharan is there. His prime research was on diffusion of smokeless chulas. I think I'm sure he will be still remembering in a Lawrence Brown book he has very elaborately used, and I'm sure you can ask him these questions. Now, then first of all, it's a network. First of all, the word system. There's system. Your school is a system. Sorry, your university is a system. You have got your principal, you have got your different faculty members, you have the students, you have the non-teaching staff. You are the different elements in the system when you all work in unison, when you work in an integrated manner. You know, in organizing this conference, I'm sure Dr. Danya would have interacted with so many people, including me and your colleagues, your IT person, your students. So you all have to work in a systemic manner. And this is the aspect that the cohesion and unified action and that interaction, that is the essential aspect of a system. And innovation involves the generation of knowledge. Innovation involves quintessentially generation of knowledge. And what is the knowledge? Knowledge can be of two types. One is scientific knowledge, other is synthetic knowledge. What is scientific knowledge? What you read from this, all these books here, they all have documented knowledge. I mean, these scientific knowledge are somebody all throughout of their interaction, their learning process, their survey, their research. They documented everything there. That is called documented knowledge or scientific knowledge. When you are talking about development, very important is the synthetic knowledge. Synthetic knowledge is the knowledge which is never documented. You ask your principal, she must be a very intelligent person, otherwise she won't be able to organize and manage your college like that. I don't think that even a half, not even 1% of her real knowledge is documented. It is experience-based. She learns from her past mistakes. She learns by interacting with others. That is called experience-based knowledge. When you're talking about Kerala, for example, we are actually head and shoulders above other states in terms of Human Development Index, Sustainable Development Goals. We are in terms of what is called the startup ecosystem. We are very good. Is it because of BSSC over there? Is it because of scientific research R&D? No. It is because of innovations of different type. When you are talking about, agriculture, for example, the product in India in the recent history, which has recorded highest productivity increase in India, is in Kerala. It is in Idukki. It is in Cardamom. it is not done by science and technology. It's not done through documented knowledge. It is born the base of experience knowledge of a typical farmer. Productivity increase almost 200 times. No crop in the country has. And in fact, that person has contributed much to care. Any single individual who has contributed to Kerala's economy is who I will rate him as Sri Jairam Ramesh awarded him with the what is called award. So what I'm trying to say that there are two types of knowledge. But knowledge is the most important resource of the modern economy, my dear friends. Knowledge. And knowledge is embodied in either in the form of scientific knowledge or synthetic knowledge in each one of you. And if knowledge is the most important resource, the most important process is not manufacturing, my dear friends. Nicholas Calder advised us that either you industrialize or perish. It is not mining, it is not manufacturing, it is not farming. The most important process of the new millennium, it is learning. And how does learning come? I just come here and close my eyes day in the morning and meditate. Knowledge comes? I don't think so. Knowledge is essentially an interactive process. And what is interaction? You have interactive process. How do you just think it of interaction? You have an interactive process at home. You have an interactive process in your department. You can think in terms of interaction which can be intra-organizational. Within a firm, within a university, within any particular entity, the members in that system interact. That is called intra-organizational, intra-firm interaction. Marketing department, interacting with the production department, interact with the human resource development department, intra-firm. And we can also have inter-institutional, inter-organizational interaction. One firm interact with another firm because I buy the raw material from them, or I may be taking the service, my outsource something, and your college may be interacting with Thrissur college. Inter-organizational interaction. You can have intra-country interaction. This organization which we are talking about maybe within the country, you are interacting with Aalborg IQAC group now. When Primus Conda comes in the afternoon, it can have intra-country interaction. You can have inter-country interaction. Now, the point is, what determines your learning? Your learning is conditioned by two things. First of all, the interactive space. Interactive space. What is the difference between my students in this institute, my PhD scholars here, and the students of Harvard University? The Harvard University students will be having a much wider interactive space. The students of Harvard all of them may be having 98, 99, 100 GRE. They may be coming from all across the world. And professors across the world may be competing to come over there and give seminars. So the interactive space that Harvard University provides is much wider and much more vibrant. That in turn create much more learning over there, and the students are much more. That's why if anybody apply for a job that I am from Harvard, even if he's a potent there, I will just select him. I hope it is not recorded. Okay, that is what I'm trying to say, that when you are talking about interaction, this interactive space matters. And I'm saying that, when St. Mary's College is trying today providing you an interactive space, it's a much bigger than normally you get. Now, what equally important is the institutional framework in which you interact. What is institution? I don't mean institution. See, Gulati is not an institution in this sense. I'm using Douglas North's institutional economics term. Institution here means the rules, the laws, the practices, the policies, the customs, the norms that govern the interaction between the actors. This is where I want to ask my dear faculty and students of St. Mary's College. What is the interactive space that you create in your classroom for learning? I have a good friend of mine. He's a many Joseph Puttambura. I hope he was. We are classmates. We are two Josephs. Our sisters thought I will also become a father. I could not become one. And last month, one of my good friends, who was a former finance minister of Jammu and Kashmir, came home and told my wife that had KJ not married you, he would have been in Rome. So that is it. I told him to give it me in writing so that I can show it to 100 people. Anyway, the point which provoked me to this anecdote is I don't know what we were talking about the interactive space, and what provoked me to Joseph Puttambura's story. I forgot. It's a deviation. I mean, it's very difficult to talk to terminal for 1 hour. It's already completed 1 hour, almost 1 hour. The point is, what I'm to say that the institutional framework that you create in your classroom. Oh, this is what reminded me. I remember Father Puttambura, in one of his retreat speech, told me that when he was a school student, I was also a school student, we were taught by same teacher, mathematics teacher. And those days, my prayer was that, I don't want to use the name of that teacher, which now, if anybody listening, they will be knowing. I mean, he has already said it. My prayer is that Dash teacher should fall down today and break her leg. She's a mathematics teacher. She's very strict. So we were all scared of her. So that was the prayer. I'm only asking, does any of the students of St. Mary's College pray like that? I'm sure Danya and other students are, but I'm trying to say that, what kind of interactive space that we create in our classrooms for interactive space? I know that we have. I know. Do you compete in terms of giving marks to the highest student who has mugged up what you said and reproduced in the question answer? I remember my. Okay, I should not elaborate it beyond a level. And I think I wanted to say that when you're talking about this interactive learning space, we need to ask ourselves, how do we, when you really want to expose yourself to, when you really want to challenge yourself to, when you really want to interrogate yourself by the current environment and make your students competent to rise to the occasion, you have to ensure that your students are living and learning from the environment around. This is here that I have great appreciation for your the Thrissur people. The gold, India, if you really properly promote Thrissur people, Kerala can become the gold capital of the world. And that is enough to make India, Kerala, a developed economy. Chittis and Kuris, they have come up with wonderful innovations. How that is made possible? And what has been its outcome? You want these questions, and how the new technology is going to the Industry 4 is going to affect their life, their future, and how it is going to affect our society and our economy. And these are questions on which we, the students of economics, should be able to reflect upon. And for that, we have to interact. Your interactive space should increase. An interactive space should not be just confined to your textbooks. Interactive space, you should know how these businessmen, what are the kind of challenges, are they aware of that? I'm sure they are much more worldly wise. They are aware of that. And how are they, what we can learn. And because they are not thinkers, we are the thinkers. How can we think ahead of them based on their experience? And this essentially means that the learning space, and the institutional framework in which our learning takes place should change. And in fact, this is where that Kerala has immense opportunity to emerge as India's higher education hub. We have a Loga Kerala Sabha wherein we have got so many of the Indian, you have got your own alumni working outside. Can we think in terms of attracting all those alumni to spend their, all those in the academic world, to spend their sabbatical in Kerala? Is there any place, I've traveled to maybe 40, 45 countries, I've never seen any part of the world as beautiful as this. And I'm trying to say that when we are able to attract the people from other parts of the world, other parts of the other countries to interact with them and enhance our learning space and broaden our frontiers. And for that, what we need to do first is that we, the Malayalis, we, the Keralites, should please we need to shed our ego that we are the model builders, we know everything. First of all, we need to appreciate and understand that we do not know. We do not know, in fact. We do not know. And the right questions should be promoted. And I would like to appreciate, I would like to advise my friends to say that let us understand that we do not know. That is the greatest understanding and the greatest knowledge. And with these words, with my lot of appreciation, immense appreciation for the department for this wonderful initiative, and looking forward to, I will definitely in my next opportunity, I'll come to Thrissur and I will interact with you on a detailed way. Thank you very much for inviting me for this, and I wish you all the best. And I'm very happy to to inaugurate this wonderful initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Sir, can you please move your audio?
Yes, I'm able to hear you. Yeah, my dear, solved it.
Hello. എല്ലാം അതിൽ മ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യാം.
I have one, hello, I have forgotten one thing, I wanted to also place my appreciation for your really charming and smart comparer. And she, in fact, her opening sentence itself, in fact, provoked me in the sense that she was talking about the relevance of learning. I was thoroughly impressed by her comparer also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hello. Thank you so much, sir, for spending your valuable time with us. And now, without any ado, I would like to invite Dr. Sudhakaran, sir, who is the Director of Course Board and retired Professor in Economics, a very eminent scholarly faculty. Sir, I invite you for the felicitation.
Respected Chair, Professor Joseph, Tanya, and dear students. My duty is to felicitate you, but I congratulate Dr. Joseph first for a very nice and authoritative presentation of the presentation. Thank you, Joseph. It was a very nice presentation. So, my duty is to felicitate you, program. So, often I think that this is an unwanted thing to make a felicitation on a seminar. But what I am going to do is to introduce you, the Coastford and the Achidamanan Study Center, what they are doing and what the institution can help you. And also one or two comments to the or queries to Dr. Joseph. So now I am director of Coastford. Have you heard of Coastford? Coastford. So Coastford is say NGO. NGO means non-governmental organization. That is situated in near Collectorate, Thrissur. And that Coastford Science and Technology for Rural Development. That was initiated by C. Achidamanan. Have you heard of Achidamanan? Former Chief Minister of Kerala. And T.R. Chandradath. He was a teacher. These two missionaries actually founded Coastford. And the initial activities of Coastford was to promote low-cost building. Have you heard of Laurie Baker? Laurie Baker. He's an Englishman, but came to India and then to Kerala and started a different cost-effective, sustainable building technology. So promote this kind of a eco-friendly, cost-effective building technology. Coastford was started initially in 1985. And later, also very many activities were also there. Later, the C. Achidamanan Study and Research Center was started. C. Achidamanan died in 1991. Then we started the C. Achidamanan Study and Research Center at Coastford. And the major activity of Achidamanan Study Center is conducting seminars, workshops, and other activities that help the students of Thrissur primarily. So the participants are college students mainly. So we are having, annually we are conducting 4 major seminars. One is in the name of C. Achidamanan. Another is in the name of K. N. Raj. Have you heard of K. N. Raj? Have you heard of K. N. Raj? K. N. Raj was one of the main economists India produced, and he is born in Thrissur. His father house is in Thrissur. So he was born in Thrissur, in Kurkanjeri somewhere. So K. N. Raj founded the Center for Development Studies. In 1971, Dr. K. N. Raj founded the Center for Development Studies. Have you heard of CDS? Center for Development Studies, Thiruvananthapuram. Dr. Joseph was faculty there. He was a student there, then there was faculty there. Then, so we are conducting these seminars of K. N. Raj. Then another luminary is Professor K.K. Subramanian. He is also from Thrissur. He was also professor at Center for Development Studies, and his name. And Laurie Baker. Laurie Baker, the great architect. So we are having, conducting these seminars. And another way we are helping the students is we are giving fellowship 4 fellowships every year of a small amount of 25 rupees to students who have completed degree. And they have to make a small study on a project within 6 months. So we are giving a fellowship of 25 that is given in the name of Achuthamenon TR Chandra the fellowship. So we are giving that fellowship on the 23rd of this month, in which we are having the K&I memorial lecture at Costford, and the lecture will be done by Dr. K.P. Kannan, his student, K&I student. He's doing that, and I invite you all to the seminar on 23rd. So that way, what we are trying to do is to help the students in their studies and also in research. These Costford and the CHMN Study Center is helping you. And we have a network of experts in various fields, not only college teachers, economics teachers, engineers, doctors, and others who can help you. So in your field work or in research, we are able to support you. And now we are having a 4th year degree courses, and in which the 4th year will be that of some field work or research, etc. And that is Costford is an ideal place to do those works. And we are able to support you, any student, because we have a multidisciplinary expert group to support you all. So we will always be providing all these supports for you. So that is why I introduce you to these 2 institutions. And regarding the presentation, and Dr. Joseph has been presenting the issue of digital divide. That is a major issue, or we are speaking of all these developments. Whether we are all getting the facilities to utilize these resources. That is the issue of digital divide, and digital divide is there. And one of the activities of the Kerala government to reduce the digital divide is to have the K-phone. Have you heard of K-phone? K-phone. Oh, so Joseph, please comment on how K-phone will help to reduce the digital divide. That is my one question that I'm putting before you. So one issue that we have to confront is the question of digital divide, how we can reduce or solve this issue of digital divide in a developing country or developed country even. And then another important aspect that we should consider is the case of knowledge economy that he was talking. So knowledge is important, very important, and producing knowledge is very important. So the economy will grow only if we are able to produce knowledge. So universities and higher education should be molded in such a manner to generate new knowledge. So that is what we are giving this knowledge economy, what we concept. And Kerala government is also giving importance to the question of creating a knowledge economy. And so there are various ways in which government is actually attempting to make Kerala economy. And my second query to Joseph is regarding how Kerala government or Kerala economy can move in this direction of moving to a knowledge economy. These are 2 questions I am putting before Joseph too. And thank you all. And I want to congratulate Danya for organizing this. Especially I asked many college teachers that I shall support you to organize a seminar like this or a workshop or anything like this. And I told Tanya only 1 week back, and she already agreed I shall do it. I told it many months before to many teachers in Thrissur. Many teachers I told that I shall able to help you, I shall support you to have a seminar like this, but none have changed yet. But Danya took up this, and I congratulate Danya for organizing this way, and congratulate all of you. And I wish all success for the seminar.
Thank you, sir, for your warm and voluble words. Now we have Dr. Dali Dominic, head of the IQAC department, to felicitate on this occasion. Ma'am, please.
A very good morning to one and all, respected dignitaries. It is my distinct honor and privilege to extend a hearty felicitation for the International Seminar on Economic Development in Information and AI Era, Experiences and Expectations, organized efficiently by the Department of Economics of our esteemed institution. In today's fast-paced world, marked by rapid advancement in technology and relentless pursuit of innovation, the nexus between information, artificial intelligence, and economic development has become increasingly intertwined. This seminar stands as a testament to our collective commitment to exploring, dissecting, and understanding this intricate relationship that shapes the economic landscapes of our time. I extend my sincere congratulations to the head of the Department of Economics and the whole team Economics for their unwavering dedication and tireless efforts in putting together such a prestigious event. Their precise planning, attention to detail, and foresight have undoubtedly paved the way for stimulating discussions, insightful deliberations, and meaningful exchanges of ideas among esteemed scholars, researchers, and practitioners in the field. As we gather here today amidst a confluence of intellects and expertise, I'm confident that this seminar will serve as a catalyst for fostering interdisciplinary collaboration, sparking innovative solutions, and charting the course for a more inclusive and sustainable economic future. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the distinguished speakers, panelists, and participants for their invaluable contribution, which will enrich our understanding and broaden our horizons. As we reflect on the deliberations of the seminar, let us rededicate ourselves to the pursuit of excellence, innovation, and social responsibility in all our endeavors. Let us harness the power of information, and not only to propel economic development, but also to address the pressing challenges facing humanity and create a more just, equitable, and sustainable world for future generations. I would like to express my profound appreciation to everyone who has played a part in making this seminar a resounding success. As we venture into the journey ahead, let us carry forward the insights gained and the connections forged during the seminar. And let us continue to collaborate, innovate, and strive for excellence in all our endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now it's time we wind up this session. So now to propose vote of thanks, we have Farsana from 2nd MA Economics.
Good morning to all. Thank you is such a prayer that cannot be seen or touched. It must be felt by heart. On behalf of St. Mary's College, Thrissur, the Department of Economics, in association with Sri Achuthamenon Study and Research Center, Gulati Institute of Finance and Taxation, Aalborg University, Denmark, and GlobalX, organizes an international seminar on economic development in information and AI era, experiences and expectations. I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for gracing us with your presence today. Let me first of all start by giving glory to the Almighty God for making today's occasion a resounding success. I would like to thank all the honorable delegates who blessed us with their presence. I'm also very much thankful to all the Program Advisory Committee members and the invited speakers. We are so fortunate to have Professor Dr. K.J. Joseph as our chief guest. I express our sincere appreciation to Professor Dr. K.J. Joseph, Director, Gulad Institute of Finance and Taxation, Secretary General of Globalics, for taking the time out of their busy schedule to share their invaluable insights with us. Thank you, sir. We are grateful to our principal, Dr. Sister Bina TL, for her words of encouragement. Her able guidance has always encouraged us. Thank you, sister. My heartfelt gratitude to the head of the department, Dr. Danya Shankar KS, for the valuable contribution, guidance, and encouragement in all our efforts. Thank you, ma'am. I thank Dr. Sudhakaran, Director of Course 4, retired Professor in Economics. Thank you, sir. And I also thank Dr. Dali Dominic A., Assistant Professor and IQAC Coordinator, St. Mary's College, Thrissur. I thank all the distinguished invitees present here accepting our invitation. A special thanks to our dedicated team of volunteers and staff members who have worked behind the screen to ensure the occasion a resounding success. Last but not the least, I thank you, my friends, for your cooperation in making this function a great success. Once again, I thank you all for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So by this, we end session 1 of the morning session of International Seminar today. So thank you, everyone, for joining. Special thanks to Professor Dr. K.J. Joseph, sir, and Sudhakaran, sir, for spending your valuable time with us. Thank you. And also everyone who is joining online. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone. Now, the next section will begin at 1:15. So I would request everyone to join by 1:15. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I once again wholeheartedly welcome everyone to the Section 2 of the International Seminar conducted by the Department of Economics, St. Mary's College, Thrissur, in collaboration with the Gulati Institute of Finance and Taxation, Sri Achyuta Menon Study and Research Center, Aalborg University, Denmark, and Globalix. So now let's begin this session with the blessings from the Lord Almighty with a prayer song by Agnes from 3rd DC Economics.
Bind us together, Lord, bind us together with cords that cannot be broken. Bind us together, Lord, bind us together in love. There is only one God. There is only one King. There is only one body. That is why we bind us together, Lord. Bind us together with cords that cannot be broken. Bind us together, Lord, bind us together in love.
Thank you, Agnes. Now, this session, the chief guest of the session, our keynote speaker, is Dr. Primoz Konda, the IQAC Research Group, Aalborg University Business School, Denmark. I wholeheartedly welcome Sir to this session. Also, to chair the session, we have Dr. Chako Jospi, Principal of St. Aloysius College, Thrissur. He has a remarkable contribution towards the advancement of higher education for a self-reliant India. Apart from having a prodigious academic career, Dr. Chako Jospi is also having a notable record of being a dedicated author. Sir, it's an honor to have you here today, and we welcome you wholeheartedly. I welcome Sir to chair the session.
Thank you. I hope I'm audible, Primoz Konda. Can you hear me? Okay, yeah. So this session or this seminar international event is on economic development in information and AI era experiences and expectations. It's a relatively new concept as far as students are concerned. Probably the most you know about AI is ChatGPT, which most probably you will be using for writing your assignments. But AI is becoming smarter that your teachers can now detect whether it was prepared by AI-enabled software. But far from this, there are many serious issues that need to be discussed. So this event will, today's session will look into such matters. I will be making only a very brief note before Primoz Konda will be speaking. After his speech, we will take questions. So if you have any questions, you can either ask after his presentation, or you can type them in the chat box. So just to raise certain issues, most people are afraid of AI in the sense they feel AI may threaten their employment. So that is the most important concern. But at the same time, there are hopes that it will bring new employment opportunities, thus giving more chances for students, especially students who study economics, data science, and all. It will give more opportunities. Then it's also hoped it will improve access to technology. Then it will also help us help developing countries to surge with the help of technology in the development process. Also, AI is supposed to give positive impact on environmental control. Then, of course, there are certain ethical considerations which we need to address. Then another concern when it comes to developing countries is the concerns regarding data quality. Then another is who will control? Can anyone control this? So all these are questions that are being pondered by students and researchers world over. At this time, what comes to my mind was a news item that I read maybe 20 years back when a supercomputer titled Deep Blue was invented. So there was a news item in a Indian newspaper, and that news item it was an article, and that article was it asked a question, but Deep Blue, can you make music? So the person who wrote it consoled himself and all of us, saying that though this supercomputer can think as fast as the human brain, it cannot make music. It has no life. It's not live. But now even that has been challenged with the introduction of AI. So that is the speed at which things change. So without taking more time, I invite Primoz Konda to have his presentation. Over to you, sir.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me speaking?
Yes, you can speak. You can speak.
Okay. So first of all, I would like just to say that I'm deeply honored and sincerely appreciate the opportunity to connect with you all virtually today, to share my insights into the transformative world of AI. Despite the distance between us, I'm excited about the potential we have to explore together how AI is reshaping the future. Okay, so I will now start with the slides. Just a second. Okay. Now you should see my slides, right?
Yeah, we can see your slides.
Oh, okay. Okay. So let me start. My name is Primoz Konda, and I am connecting to you from Denmark, but originally I am from very small country. It's called Slovenia. It's down in Europe. I moved to Denmark 10 years ago, did my master's, my PhD, and now I'm a postdoctoral researcher. And so today my keynote lecture will be navigating the AI era, global impact, business opportunities, and real-world insights. So just about me, so my field is innovation studies and applied data science. I'm a lecturer at social data science master program we have, and I'm a member of AI Denmark project. This is a big, high-scale project and how Denmark is tackling lack of workforce resources and help small, medium enterprises. My PhD was about development of electric vehicle sector in China, and actually I did it in 2 universities. I did it back in Aalborg in Denmark, and also in the Chinese Academy of Sciences in China. And actually, just 2 days ago, my last article from PhD was published, and it's not about China, it's about India, South Africa, and Brazil, and how they can develop electric vehicle sector to boost the economy. But as I said, I come from innovation studies, and from my department in Aalborg has very strong foundations on national system of innovation. So how we look on the economy, it's from different perspectives. We look at it as actors inside the economy, like universities, firms, government, institutions, how they interact, how they exchange knowledge, how they create knowledge, how they make a system work, not only for the economical growth, but also for equality. So in that fashion, I actually structured my lecture today. So I will start with introducing what AI is, and then go to the global impact, more local impact, and then go to the firm level and share my insights. But what is AI? Actually, the chair in front amazingly described the situation of AI, and it's actually the best introduction to my lecture. But we differently perceive what is AI. Like in science, it is about developing algorithms and models for machine to perform cognitive functions, aiming to understand and replicate human intelligence in solving complex problems, like lots of data and solve it. Then we have the business perspective, which is more like how to apply machine learning models to analyze data, automate process, optimize operations, improve decision-making, driving innovation and competitive advantage. But I think there is the third perspective, which is very important and maybe also important in the context of today. It's educational perspective. AI in education focuses on creating intelligent systems that mimic human learning and the reasoning to personalize education, automate administrative tasks, and enhance learning outcomes. And I think this is very important to understand that we also have our own view perspective to the AI. And also what I have to say, the technological landscape of AI is very, very, very broad. Speaker before me mentioned ChatGPT, which is kind of generative chatbot. We have neural networks, we have machine learning, we have autonomy system, we have so many things, and all this comes into AI. And when I say AI today in my lecture, I actually means everything together. And so if this is now, if we said what AI is, maybe it's time that we address the elephant in the room, and this is job exposure. Why I start with this? Because this is always the first thought that comes up. And IMF just came with the latest report, and they were evaluating how is the share of jobs currently will be either displaced or partly displaced or not, like have low exposure. And you can see in the world there is around 40% of jobs that can be affected by AI. But in advanced economies, this is almost 60%. Moving to emerging markets where we still place India, for example, we are around 38% of the existing jobs will be not necessarily replaced, but highly affected, right? And less developed the countries are, less jobs will be exposed. But this is not enough to look in this. We also need to look about the preparedness. So now in the x-axis down, we have exposure employment in share, and on the y-axis we have preparedness index, how countries are prepared, and we have very, very, very obvious linear correlation. So the countries most advanced are the most prepared. However, they also have lots of jobs exposed. And if we see in the middle, we have countries, emerging economies, which are actually all over the place almost. They have overlap with the least countries and also some overlap with the advanced countries. So it's not that easy to say, okay, what category a country will be. And also when, in that respect, government should create their policies to address the issue, right? And if you see the next slide, this is from Statista from last year. It shows how each sector, how much jobs are actually in danger. We have high potential for automation. This means that now we have a worker working, but with AI, he will be replaced. Then we have high potential for augmentation. That means that now we have a worker who is working his job, but AI will just influence his work, not replace him, but they will work together. And we can see different sectors has different shares, and more digitalized service is higher impact we have. But if you go to, let's say, health at the bottom, it's very low share jobs will be actually replaced. Because for the health, we'll always need human interaction. So this is another way how to look at the jobs. But now let's move to the next. We all talk about losing jobs, and honestly, we cannot do anything about this. We cannot, as a country, any country, say we don't want to lose jobs, so we will block AI. Our competitive advantage will be so low that in the long term we cannot do anything. But we can do something else, and this is something I call job paradox. We have job displacement concerns. Well, I was talking now, it's automation, threatens routine jobs across sectors. But at the same time, we have talent shortage in AI, a high demand of AI professionals. Actually, in the latest report, in the latest conference I was, there is so much talking about how AI development, and not necessarily development, but introduction into the economy is threatened by lack of AI professionals. And this is something that happened in Denmark. So we have skills mismatch. We cannot say, okay, you worked 30 years here in the bank. Now you have to learn AI so you can work. That doesn't go like this, right? We see that some people can be upskilled, but some simply will be changed. And in that sense, this is us now. Like me, you, everyone who is at university, we can upskill or reskill to meet demands. One option is that big firms, they can do it themselves. Big firms can train their workers and reach the level so they can actually use AI. But there are many small firms, like medium-sized firms, that cannot afford, or it is very hard to upskill the workers. So we have to educate young talents so that the economy can grow. And this is the economic implication. Potential for growth requires a skilled workforce. And this is in the area we live, unskilled workforce can only make us into stagnation. And finally, policy and strategy. This is call for government and educational institutions to address the talent gap and workforce readiness. And I was researching during my master's and later what was happening with the job market and different events that happened. And there is one event that struck me a lot because I was young at the time, not that young, but I remember it. And this is year 2K event. In India, everyone, I'm sure you know it because it was very important for your economy. This was a computer bug at the end of previous millennia, which in all software was only coded in the way that have less to digits for the year. So after 1999, it will go back to 1900. And we didn't know what will happen. People were saying that airplanes will fall down and everything. But this was focused on fixing a specific data-related bug in computer system. And it was generated a massive short-term demand for software engineers. And some countries could boost their economy and sector, and one of them was India. So long-term impact on technology and development and policy, it had, of course, but if you look back and some job analysis, what happened in India from 1998 and the years back, you see that you really managed to leapfrog at a time. And with a revolution now, we actually have sustained long-term demand for skilled AI professionals. Provides ongoing opportunities for developing countries to leapfrog into cutting-edge technology sectors. It has profound and lasting impact on the economy, society, and global technology practices. So, what can we learn from this? It's, of course, as we mentioned before, jobs will go away. True. But isn't this a very good opportunity for the young people, young generation, to see a very good opportunity to go and to learn and to push forward the country? Like it was quite a while now. Economy was several circles of recession, and there was this social media, social network boom, but not an opportunity for young people to have a very good, like, clear path to go where to go. But then there's a problem. We can teach many talents, but not this is actually my insight. I'm working with many companies as a consultant and advisor, and this is the hard. What talent fits their requirements. And if you look at AI as part of the business model, what role it plays in the business model, types of firms. We have AI solution providers. OpenAI, Meta used to be Facebook, Google is doing. So these are firms that develop AI technologies and solutions as their core business offering. So these firms focus on innovation, AI research, and product development. That means that these are also many small startups that on the foundation of these big giants are building small applications, AI applications, and providing them to the market. So they're selling AI. The second group is AI-driven business firms. So we have companies that their main operational activities in product. AI is a key value proposition component, significantly influencing their market competitors. Here, for example, we can think about car manufacturer. Now, every car manufacturer we need to implement autonomous driving, not now, but in some years. So they will not necessarily develop their own system. They will get generalized models and then customize it for their needs. The same mobile provider manufacturers now. I saw Samsung has their own AI functionalities. iPhone has its own AI functionalities. So these are all the businesses that actually just use AI in their products. And finally, they're just firms where AI is a support function. So they will still do the same as before, but improve back office operations such as HR, administration, accounting, and so on. In many cases, people are already using AI in their tools, but they are not aware of it. I know, let's say that Photoshop or Adobe, they already have implemented in all generative models. If you use Excel now, Excel has AI included. So many people just using it, they are not aware of using it. But to correctly address the needs of these firms, we need to separate them into other three categories. And that is what kind of talents are needed for them and what are the customization of the product. And in the first group, solution providers, they need high-level AI professionals in the searches. Top-notch, the best in the world, because they need to create something that has never been created before. So there is no copying. It's a high degree of innovation and developing bespoke AI solutions. So let's say when I think just Apple came out with the new glasses, it's so new. They cannot just copy something, right? And for this, you need the best people. Then you have AI-driven business needs professional skills in and integrating AI solutions. So not necessarily the best to produce something new. It's general into their custom product. When we have the customization, the high level to middle level, and actually those professionals working for them, they need to know how to code, they need to know how to change things, they need to be innovative. And then the third one is actually those workforce that actually can already be there, just upskill. They will have ready from the shelves solutions, which they will just use. And for them, we don't need the best skilled workers. Those are workers that we just upskill. So and I get this question a lot. They ask me at the firm, I go, okay, you will now, that's how the system is. What should we do now? Who should we hire? And then you go to the job market. The salaries are very high, but you simply don't know what level of talent you need for each job. Okay, and if this was kind of the theoretical part of this, of what the firms need, I would like to present how Denmark, I think 4 years ago, started to develop AI business in Denmark. So it's called AI Denmark. And their mission is to support Danish small and medium-sized companies, use of artificial intelligence and data-driven business development. The vision is to make Denmark a pioneer country in business-oriented utilization of responsible artificial intelligence. So what they did? In 2019, there was a huge call and from the business, from the firms, the Danish job market has no professionals. They simply cannot find enough workers. And then Danish Industrial Foundation, they gave lots of money and made 7 partners. 4 are universities and 4 are institutes. And how it works, in the last 3 years, more than 120 companies received assistance from professionals to develop and incorporate AI solutions. And it's for free. And how it works, they come to the AI Denmark, as a firm comes and say, we think we can benefit from AI. And then they are delegated to one of the researchers, and I am one of these researchers. And then I go to the meetings with them, and we create solutions for them for free. However, they buy out our time. So in that way, we try to shorten the time of having an idea to the product for the company so that we help, but we never actually develop the final version. We always develop a prototype. And the most important thing is that at the end we have conversation, and it's on us consultants to advise who they should hire, what kind of profile of talent they should hire. And actually it is going both ways. We have our social data science master program. And every year we talk with the firms that work with our students. And we ask, what are they missing? And we had this mistake for 2 years, that we were teaching all the machine learning models, everything. But we didn't teach them, because we assumed it's not important, how to implement them into the workflow of the company. So many times they got a very good talent, he made his product, and then they could not integrate it with them. So this is something that we learned from them. And maybe now I will give you an example of 3 firms I worked with them. And basically, they are all over. This is you cannot imagine how many different firms come. And the first one was Maternity Foundation. It's actually an amazing organization that also works in India. And they're educating health personnel in developing countries. They have more than 400,000 professionals reached in low and middle income countries. So they have an app where the people they cannot get education can learn, have lectures, have everything in their language. They can do the course and get certificate. At the beginning, it was only for giving birth, to help with giving birth, and later for the other medical procedures. But the important thing is why they came to us. They said many times we have so many examples when some lady somewhere is using the app to learn, and then too early decide to go to the exam. And then she fails and never comes back. So we trained on all 300,000 users they had at the time, and checked what level should be expected, how much data they should learn, how much video should they see to pass, and it works very nice. Basically, the recall, so those who are not coming back in the app, which is for free, it's very good. So this is one of the cases how AI can really work in a good way. Another was IQ Meter. This is basically it's a medical organization that provide trainings and rehabilitation software. So when you have an accident, you had a rehabilitation program, and they work with heart rate data. They have many heart rate data, and how it is, we created a model that can predict for each individual user if when they start workout with a physiotherapist, maybe they're progressing a bit faster than others, maybe a bit too slow, and we can predict the best next training for them. And it's also showing very good results. And final, the first case was People in Sport. It's the biggest Scandinavian sport agency. They actually are assigning football players, basketball players, and have tried to find. And they gave me this case, and I didn't know what can I actually do for them. But it's so funny that sport, especially team sport, and it's so many statistics behind. So we managed to create some kind of a model which can profile very young players and try to predict what is their maximum potential. And this is a target for them, how to get young players, sign them in, and try to find the best club for them. Yeah, okay. So that I will not be too long. As I said, more than we give them, I think that we as an educator will learn from these companies. But if we want to solve the AI integration on the local level, it's not enough that we educators teach what it is in the books and what it is. We need to understand what the firms really need. And there's such a big diversity with AI. I showed you at the beginning that the technological landscape. It's simply too much for let's say even one researcher to do the product. We always have teams. Then we ask other people, and for each of these cases, I learned something new. I was doing something I haven't been doing before. So yeah. So now, for conclusion, so in this presentation, I tried to tell that this AI revolution is shaping our lives as society and will have a strong impact on the future and strong implication for jobs. And as I said, we cannot prevent job displacement, but can provide solutions for the existing talent gap. And I remember when I started with AI Denmark, and there was a bit older professor, and he said to us, we were like, yeah, okay, we will just do. And he was like, you are not aware of the role you will have, each individual will have in the business. And, you don't take him serious. But just lately, I had a few students I was supervising for master thesis, and still they are all employed. We have almost 100% employability of our master students. And then when you go to LinkedIn and see where they are working, it's simply amazing. So, and here for my final saying, I will say that it's actionable reflection, and it's not only for me; it's for every one of you. And also, I need to say, not only for educators, for every student, we have to be aware that if you are a student at this college, you know, and you on the daily level, when you're outside of education, you meet people who are less educated, and at that moment you became educator as well. So how can we, as individuals and organizations, actively contribute to ensuring a smooth transition for our communities into the AI era, while promoting social equity and addressing the talent gap? So this is a question for you. I know that you can ask me, but I would like to first you. You can actually come and tell me, what do you think? How can you, as an individual or educator, help the local? And there is one very important thing I haven't mentioned. whenever we are far from the capital cities, when we are small, we cannot make solutions for the world. We have to work very locally. So the best thing is, and I choose firms I have that are very local where I live. And then you can see impact very soon. When you see the impact, it's very nice to go further. So thank you for attention.
Thank you. I hope you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. So those who are participating online can type in their questions, if any, in the chat box. Primoz Konda has also raised a question for you to respond. So you can respond to the question that he has raised. But out of curiosity, by the time the participants get ready, out of curiosity, I would like to ask you one thing. That's your thesis, I understand, was about automation industry in China, right? I understand that AI has transformed automation, especially when it comes to electric vehicles. It has transformed AI has transformed automation industry. So can you give us some more information on the role of AI in transforming automation industry?
Yes, it's actually a very relevant question right now. I said I was writing this article about India, and I found so many small startups working for the automobile industry. And actually, India among these countries was actually working very good as a car manufacturer. But we couldn't really find a very good connections between computer engineering firms and car manufacturing. Like Tata is very strong, has their own connection, but in patenting, for example, in China, but Chinese patenting activities are a bit different, but they have strong connection. And like United States, when you look at the European car manufacturer, all of them coupled already either with Google, with Apple, with someone, because you need to know now the future car will be AI car almost. I had a chance to sit in the car where it was autonomous driving, and I couldn't believe, and this was 2 years ago, I was driving and there was a driver sitting by the wheel. He was not touching it. It was a test drive in China. And I couldn't believe that this car can drive us. And so much intelligence that comes after this insight, it's just so hard to imagine. And I've worked with this, it's hard to imagine. But there is a very huge interaction now with AI, with many industries. There is almost no industry that is creating products for the future without AI. And with AI, it's maybe, as I said, it's a huge landscape, but I will also say this. We are driving cars based on AI for maybe 5-10 years already. There are already functionalities that car needed to evaluate, will you change the lane or not? And this is not something that is very obvious with a camera. So I would say there's a very strong correlation between AI and all automation and specifically electric vehicles.
Thank you. Those who have questions can please type in the chat box. By the time I have some responses here, which I will read out to you. One is, which you have already discussed about unemployment. The widespread adoption of AI in various industries can lead to job displacement as automation replaces certain tasks. That's one concern that you also raised in your speech. So one suggestion one student has here is addressing the potential rise in unemployment requires a focus in reskilling and upskilling the workforce to adapt to changing job market. So reskilling and upskilling is very important. What I'm trying to tell. In countries like India, maybe developing countries like India, education is more focused on theory rather than on its application and skilling. So of late, trying to introduce changes where skilling is given more importance. So probably it's because of this fear that here people have an apprehension that AI will ultimately take away our jobs. So the suggestion here the students are putting up is we should go for reskilling and upskilling the workforce. So that is one suggestion they have. Then another is actually a question. The question is, it's regarding whether AI can create inequality. So the question is, the benefits of AI may not be evenly distributed, potentially increasing income equality, income inequality. So would you like to comment on that? What policymakers can do? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. So the first comment, yes, upskilling and reskilling is very important, but it's not that easy. It's not the first time now that's happened that we have some change in the industry. And I remember it was 2016. It was in our university, they have department, many famous scholars came, they talked about what automation will do to us. And I remember there were some scholars from India as well. They said, we are afraid so many jobs will be displaced. But there is something, nothing happens through the night. And it will not be today and tomorrow. It's not like a bug we had 24 years ago. And this transformation for many people will not be seen. We will just simply, the same as we are improving mobile phone, just think how your mobile phone 10 years ago, 15 years ago was different as now. You never said, I have a new phone, this is a total revolution. We had like this, but you just simply know how to use it next. I think that the government on one side will need to all government think about generating talents, but more to make a secure net for those who will be displaced. Because we have to be aware, it's not workers' fault. If someone is working 20, 30 years on some job, and then we expect from him to change, and we know that it's not because he was lazy, not doing that. So I think that there will be, and I know from my example, one company that I was consulting, they actually fired 7, they lay off 7. At the beginning, the plan was to lay off 7 people. And then we talked with them and said, this is a total wrong approach. Don't come to us and say what we can do so we have less workers. Because you still need them. You said, think differently. And I can give you an example of what the firm was. It was a retailer of the construction materials. And before, they had like these big customers when they were actually making personalized offers, right? We need to buy that much material. Okay, this is personalized for you. They were in the offices. So then we created a model for them that based on their previous buying, what they want, what is the stock, actually generates this. And they wanted to lay off these people. And we had a meeting after we finished. And I say, think of it. Now you have a limit how much a company needs to buy from you that you have personal retailer. Lower this down. Be more accessible for a smaller business. Keep these people and at the latest meeting we had, actually they managed to increase many firms from the level they would not have assistant retailer up. I said we should not only think that we should not talk about job displacement. We should always work the augmentation. So I don't need to do what I would like to do. We don't want to lay off people and leave them there. And some people will need to go. And this is always like this. In the history, if you look agriculture, how agriculture, especially in the Western world, from 100 years ago, when everything was done by hand. Now we have these huge tractors and machines all the farmers using that, they're using controls. They can use 4 tractors one by one. So many people lost these jobs. It's just how a government can use. And I could see that here with a question about, according to which are the industries that cannot be replaced by AI. It's not that much the industry. It's more like how big in the industry. And one is health. This is like in Denmark, we don't have health workers. Basically, they are importing it from everywhere. And you cannot educate health workers as young people that they can be a doctor, medical doctor. They don't want to be a nurse, for example. And these jobs cannot be simply replaced. But I have here one anecdote as well, which is actually very fun. Do you know this vacuum cleaner? It's a Roomba, it's called. They have many different. It goes alone and it's actually cleaning the apartment. And when it came out, in Denmark, they have lack of people who are cleaning homes. And they said, oh, this will solve our problems, right? It's not. It solves one part of the worker who is cleaning, because he cannot fly up and take the trash. He cannot clean the dishes, right? And that's how we have to think. It's just complementary to our work. And it's many people just think my job should just go away. We should encourage people to make a minimum effort, maybe to change a bit of their profession and stay in the same and maybe benefit better.
Yeah. So basically, when structural changes take place in the economy, there will be certainly structural unemployment. In fact, relating to the issue of inequality, there is a comment from one of the participants to say that the benefits of AI may not be evenly distributed because of issues like access to technology and access to data and so on. So bridging the digital divide and more importantly, bridging the gender digital divide is crucial for ensuring that all regions and socioeconomic groups have opportunity to benefit from AI advancement. So that's a suggestion that digital divide and gender digital divide should be addressed to make the best. Then another concern.
Can I just comment on this one?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll just comment on this. So it's true. Whenever we have change in the economy, we always have different. Some is improving, someone is falling behind. And that's a sad part of the world, is that some are more advanced and some are not. And this is the role of the government, like each government, to try to get the best out of it. But I have to say something, that in our master's students, half are females, because we don't have a separate. And the best, who are the best, our researchers, are definitely girls. I have one works in Lego. She's smarter than I am. I was in the class, I remember after first semester, I said, whatever she was saying, you are smarter than I am, much smarter than I am. You just need to do it. And here I will also say, we live not only in the AI era, we live in the some kind of, let's say, social media era where we can be educated without university almost. And I don't mean without books. So how do we do it? We know that on Facebook or on YouTube, there is many channels who explain the machine learning better than I can explain. And we tell this to students. If you need a second explanation, go and check there. So now we give them all the resources. Stanford University has all machine learning courses for free online. So if someone wants somewhere who cannot have access, they should be motivated to do the courses. And if I'm honest, if I'm teaching economics, we are still teaching economics from the book and from the article. In the classroom, I'm the one who teach students. And at the social data science, after the first semester, I am collaborating with students in the class. We are always so all the cases that I was showing you, we always are allowed to use them to our students, delegates. So we work together. So for some firm, we create 5, 6, 7 different models. And this is what we have to do. We have to encourage people that we work with them. It's different to teach macroeconomics. You cannot, it's debatable, but you still have this principle of teaching from the articles and the books. Machine learning goes so fast, and AI, that when the book is printed, it's already to. But I have also very high concerns about what AI will do specifically with low-income countries. But there is also a good thing. AI is also very good in agriculture. So they say that regarding the food production, AI can do a lot for and we produced one solution. Our students, they produced drones which go around the fields, potato fields. In Denmark, we are making potato, and they try to find out where is the sickness in the potato. So basically, they only use the fertilizers for this area, and not for everyone. So there is less fertilizer used, better food, and all these small things, small changes. I hope that in the long run will benefit to everyone. Maybe I'm too big an optimist. Yeah.
Yeah, I think AI is used in agriculture already on a large scale. For example, to detect when there is a deficiency of water, when there is a deficiency of fertilizers, and so on. Then another concern that has been raised by many of the participants here is a fear that policy framework for AI. For example, in countries like India, even now we have difficulty in controlling in fact, we have laxity of policy in controlling social media content, what comes in WhatsApp, what comes in YouTube, and other channels. So, and we also have already issues like faking one's identity and using AI and making use of it. So, from the perspective of policymakers, they face the challenge of creating effective regulatory framework for AI that balance innovation and consumer protection. So do you think we can strike a right balance between governments, industries, and academia to develop adequate regulations?
Yes, this will be a hard one. Why? I think that government and organization with regulation-wise, they missed a bit with all these generative models, and they came out with ChatGPT. There was no regulation for ChatGPT. And it's so good. If you use ChatGPT, you can see it's so good, and it's also so good for those who want to be bad, do some bad things. So I think that to go a step back now and to really regulate it will be very hard. I know that the European Union is starting doing that, and European Union is very strict on Facebook, on all this. But fake news was problem, and actually fake news in American election 2016. This was all AI. It was already at that time was generated articles. Actually, it was personalized, generalized articles, which is the scariest. Let's say that it worked like this. You published on Facebook that your bicycle was stolen. They will create a fake article saying that this political candidate doesn't want to do anything about stealing bicycle. And they are so good at somehow you cannot really see the difference between the reality and fiction. I mean, fiction that artificial. And I think this will be a very huge task for the society, not only for the government. Government has a very important role, but also limited reach. As you can see, like I was in China. China is a big country. India is a big country. I grew up in the village of 200 people. The whole country has 2 million people. We almost know each other. So when I think about a government's policy, they can reach everyone. But I checked where Kerala is on the map. You are very, very, very far from the capital, right? And it's also we have a saying: it's hard far from the eyes, far from the heart. It's very hard to address policies on the national level. Of course, you have sub-governments to actually address the problems of small local communities. And I think that, and this is the answer how the Denmark said, and many countries said, that we cannot only expect government to address. We as a research institute, our education, we have to try to go up. So we know that if you see that there is an opportunity somewhere that they can improve their business with AI, just approach them, say, we do this for you, for your, simply just to stay aligned with what the global or maybe national policies are.
There is another question in the chat box. Yeah, that's something you have already answered.
Yeah. I thought this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then another concern, in fact, which has been raised is countries and businesses are in a competition to lead AI development, which may lead to geopolitical tensions. So international cooperation is, we already have international cooperation in many other areas, but AI is not an area where we still think of international cooperation because firstly, it is in the initial stages of development. But considering the importance of AI in areas like warfare, isn't it important to develop international cooperation to establish norms and standards for responsible development and use of AI technologies?
That was a perfect question. What we can see now, unfortunately, we are now in the time of two big wars happening now and many small that we don't even know. And how it changed everything is with the drones, AI-operated drones. And in one way, it's better you think, okay, if it's only drones, but if drones would tackle each other, it's okay. But they tackle, they can attack people, and that is very true. Actually, I was reading about the government expenses in the AI. In many countries, the biggest expenses are in the warfare section, which is a bit concerning. I also saw some NATO guidelines about this. I see they want governments to invest more into warfare, improving warfare, to make intelligent warfare, which intelligent warfare is no warfare, right? There is no intelligence there as far as I'm concerned. But it is very true. There is also another aspect. It's not only no collaboration between countries. It's also a huge battle to steal workforce. I mean, not steal. One example, in our Aalborg University data science department, in Denmark, there is no Danes, not even one Danish people employed. We are from all over the world. Yeah, no Danish people, but we are working for Danish small, medium enterprises. And the same, I know so many my friends from India, not working in India, working everywhere. Actually, some are in India working for international companies. We collaborate some. At some point, we need to say, okay, if we are educating, how to keep everything to be also locally. It's not necessarily that they work for it, but not bring something back, but enable us to develop that. And as I said, as India basically saved the world in 1999, literally, yeah. Many as potential you have in AI talent to develop, you can also, you will, I'm sure there will be no medium-sized company, let's say 200 in it, that will be not one Indian working there. I saw in Slovenia from a technical company, so many PhDs from India, from Singapore, from China, and then 20 years ago there would not be. So we have to also think about protecting our knowledge, right?
Okay. Now, another question is really an interesting question, and it's on a totally different but very important issue. That's about the environmental impact that AI could cause. So the question is the computational demands of AI technologies, particularly that of deep learning, can have significant environmental impact. So will it be possible to develop energy-efficient AI solutions promoting sustainable practices in the tech industry? Is it possible, or are research being done in this direction?
Yes, there is actually lots of investment in this direction. We know NVIDIA, the graphic card manufacturer, is coming not only the better NVIDIA card, but more efficient and effective. As I can tell you, just my rack at the server room for my servers 2 years ago was one rack full. Now I only have one component, and it's 2 year time. Actually, two and two. One is for ventilation, additional ventilation, cooling, and one is just a rack. And in that we go, but we have another issue. It's not that much of AI and computational power. It's more about, we have blockchain. It's something that is actually using much more energy with much less benefits for the society. And when we talk about the AI and machine and deep learning, this is true. There is strong, very big computational powers needed when you train a model. Once model is trained and it's good, we don't need to use this power anymore. And from my experience, I think that the AI is not the biggest threat for environment in that aspect. We are causing many other things as society, so we will destroy ourselves before AI will rule the world. So in that aspect, it's true. There is a lot of research done on the efficient use of the resources, but there are other elephants we should address before, as a blockchain mining and similar.
Now a question has come back to an issue that we have already discussed, that is about inequality. But this time, the question is slightly different. It's raising another concern, that is implementation of AI technologies often requires significant upfront investment in infrastructure, training, and system integration. So businesses must carefully assess the costs and benefits, determine the feasibility of AI adoption. So when you compare the cost and benefits, or when you run a CBA for AI implementation, do you think it will be economically viable for smaller nations, smaller communities rather than nations to afford it?
It's actually very good point as well. So it's true, there are very high investments into making AI solution at the beginning, and it's also, you need to, if you have lots of data, it's normally very productive to have very much data, you need lots of resources, and it's not for free. It's the prices are going down. However, it's still expensive. But with AI, it's some other very annoying things happening. It's changing so fast. I was working in 2021 on half a year on a chatbot for some firm that they could have AI answers without having. And I think maybe it was 1 week after I developed everything, we launched everything, ChatGPT came out. Much better than I was doing for half a year. And this is at some point when firm decide, okay, we want to do this. It's so hard because this is, I would say, can you imagine that you are buying a mobile phone, want the good one, the best one, and every week a new come out. You can never, when should I buy it, right? If I know that in 1 week it will be already too late. So I think what we try to also talk when with firms, what we are doing, is try to find the best option to go to have us a cost effective. But I have to say that in the AI Denmark case, everything is for free. Also, the firms can get for free servers, everything. It's not for free. Someone is paying. The taxpayers are paying, but not the firm who needs it.
Yeah, okay. Now, another issue that students are pointing out is, I don't know whether that's an area where you are working, but it's about the ethical considerations of AI. So the question is ethical concerns. There are many ethical concerns that surround AI, such as bias in algorithms and data privacy issues. And also, there are situations where AI is being used for defaming individuals. So it can affect adversely the reputation of individuals as well as industries and sometimes that of communities. So isn't there a need for companies to prioritize ethical considerations in AI development and used to maintain trust among consumers and stakeholders?
Yes, it would be very nice if we would have ethical companies. I'm afraid that it's more driven by the profits than ethical. But we all talk about this discrimination in AI models a lot. And it was very important. Many issues was raised when AI was racist and stuff. But it's not the model who is racist. The problem is, and you mentioned it at the beginning, is data. If let's say you only have data on, and I have this, we had this example in our case with the heart rate. They only had data from white men and white women. And then when they tried this implement in some Africa, they found out it's very bad. Why was it bad? We didn't have all the training data from these minorities. So we have to think when we use solutions, when we collect the data, it needs to be as wide as it could be. It has to cover all the also minorities. And when we talk about ethical behavior and stuff, it's not only the researchers. I'm given the data, I make a model, it works well for white men of 40 years old, and not for others. Ethically, we should not come with this. What should we say? Okay, it doesn't work. Collect the data. We need new data. We need more data. And that's one way of ethically how we work. But as someone who's given data, it's not always easy. And I was already accused, let's say in one way, that, okay, why did you come with a solution? Then this is for the heart rate. Our heart simply works different for us. We are very much more obese in the Western, than someone I know in the chat, right? In Kenya, everyone is fit, everyone is running. You cannot compare. So if you want to make a good solution for Kenya in that case, you need to have original data from Kenya as well.
Okay, I think we will have a final question, and this question again seems to be very interesting. It's in fact trying to bring out integrating AI with the existing systems and customers. So the issue being raised is that integrating AI into existing business processes can be challenging, especially for established organizations and businesses with legacy. Then again, there are concerns like customers may be hesitant to embrace AI-driven products and services due to concern about the privacy, security, and perceive the complexity of AI systems. So do you think existing businesses that have been traditionally doing business in the traditional ways will find it challenging to convince themselves and their customers that that's the final question we have?
Yes, and I see it as two questions. So one question is implementation of the AI models into existing business, and this is a huge task. And I said we have this when we with our firms, when we talk with them, they said, you give us very good talents. They make a model right in Python. We are not using Python. We are using our software. Can you put this in? And they don't know how to do that. And actually, they say in the parallel with AI talent. Now again, the software engineers will have to work in the parallel with them. Most of these biggest software from SAP and so on, they already have AI in. So it will be very challenging. And when we educate people to do AI, we need to educate it also how to integrate or how to communicate to integrate it correctly. And the second part, it's not easy to also predict where AI will go, specifically in that respect that we have we start a product, we integrate it, and it works. But if it doesn't work, all the users will have fear for AI. That's it. We would have AI bus system in Delhi. They would AI driven, and there will be accidents. People will not only not trust the AI bus, they will not trust AI. And it was very funny. There was this Spotify. It's a service for listening to the music. It's popular in the West. And for 10 years already, it's AI who gives the recommendation what you would also like to listen. But then at some point they said, okay, would you like to try AI solution? It was just a test. And people would say, there was the same recommendation they would get, say, oh, AI is not that good. It was better before. And they asked them, but what do you think? Who is the one who was before? That I'm sure you have some people, expert to do that. Yeah, we already have lots of AI, but it's true when AI will make the first error that for us, we will be skeptical for AI for the future. And we had an example of the firm which invested also quite a lot in AI, and for their product it was not useful, and they were a bit angry at the end. Actually, they knew it was their mistake, but I don't think it will be easy to convince them to try again.
Okay, so I think we will conclude this. So as a concluding note, I would like to say that addressing these issues require a multidisciplinary approach involving economists, policymakers, technologists, and ethicists to ensure that AI contributes to inclusive and sustainable economic development. So I thank Premis Konda for spending almost, it's more than an hour, but we didn't notice the minutes flying by. So we had a very productive discussion. So I thank you for your time and for the information that you shared with us. In fact, I was looking through your LinkedIn profile today morning, and so that you have very good citations, and so our students have really benefited of your talk. And I also thank the participants who are here offline and online for their active participation and raising the questions. So I think we can close this session. So thank you once again. Yeah.
Can I just one sentence? I wanted to say before, but so my mom, I'm old, and I look young. I'm quite old, and my mom and my dad are both in elderly home. And they are both in Slovenia and small country. And I talked with them and I said, oh, I'm going to teach to present in India. And I sent to my brother, he showed to my mom a video presentation of our school. And she's also married. My mom is also married. She's also Catholic. And she was so happy. Like she said, I have to say, she's sending regards to all of you because she was very touched. There is a video representation of your school, of the rooms and everything, and she was amazed. Yeah. So I have to, from my mom, you don't know her, but she says she sends regards to all of you.
Thank you, and convey our regards also to them. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So thank you again, and I hope I can soon visit Kerala and see the. I heard many nice things about Kerala. So yeah.
Yeah, it's one of National Geographic's 50 destinations you should see before you die. So welcome.
Yeah.
Whenever you come, please let us know.
Yeah, I will. Okay.
Okay, you can leave,
Bye.
sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sir, I would like to thank you for spending such great time with us. Sir was chairing this whole session, and I guess that was one of the reasons why this was more successful. So now, to show our token of gratitude, I would like to invite Sir and our principal sister to present the memento to our chairing person today, Dr. Chakojo, sir. Sir, please. Once again, thank you, sir. Thank you, sister. So by this, we have come and end to the session of the international seminar that we have been conducting. Once again, I would like to thank everyone for your support, cooperation, all the guests that have been joined here, and all the participants that have been joining online. Thank you for your cooperation. And I hope this would be a fruitful session in our life. Thank you, guys. Thank you.